Oh, my dear sister-in-law, I'm trying to talk to you. I hope you're reading this right now. Please tell me that it's not true that you're working until late on the night before your brother's wedding.
Yes I am. I guess you could say that work's dragging on a little bit. The people who I'm working with at the moment are a little bit behind schedule, so I have to wait a bit longer for them to finish.
Oh, my dear Taylor, for working in such a strange place, you've got a lot of pride, don't you?
Pride? What's that supposed to mean? I don't understand what you mean by that.
You know that you don't have to be so cool and calm about it in front of me, right? All you have to say is that you're working late into the night, and that there's been a sudden change in the work schedule.
But I don't think I'd describe it as a night shift. That's not really how my work is done.
Okay, I suppose that's fine. You know it's no big deal if you can't make it to the wedding ceremony if you're going to be working all night.
Wait, no, I think you've got this a bit backwards. It's not like that at all. My work isn't going to affect me getting to the ceremony. I haven't got my parents around anymore, and if I were to not show up to the ceremony, my uncle and his family would be the only relatives on the groom's side that'll be there. By the time the ceremony starts, everything should fall into place here, and then I can attend the ceremony. Everything will work out just fine. The timing of it isn't all that bad.
Ah, okay. Is that how you think it's going to work? You don't think that you won't be able to make it?
It should be fine. Anyways, I've got to get back to work so that we can finish up here. I'll see you tomorrow, Julia.
Okay, that's not a problem. Just letting you know that you don't have to force yourself to come to the ceremony if you're really busy. An ordinary factory worker wouldn't really fit into our wedding ceremony anyways, especially being around an elite music college graduate.
Good morning, Julia. I hope you were able to rest well before your big day today. I just arrived at the wedding venue as I was able to get all my work done.
Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting you to message me this morning. So you got here with plenty of time then?
It may seem out of place me being here, but we're the groom's only relatives. My uncle, his family, and I are all my brother has. Thank goodness I was able to attend today. I'm really glad that I was able to get here in plenty of time.
I really didn't think you'd get here. I wonder if you're not willing to give up personality is due to you being stubborn. I'm not surprised, as you're just a high school graduate who sits at the bottom of society.
Well, good thing I didn't end up rushing during the middle of all the excitement and ruining the atmosphere of the ceremony.
Of course I agree with that. That's very true. At least you didn't do that. Ah, yes. Now I remember what I was going to ask you. I wanted to ask you to do me a favor, my dear sister-in-law.
Oh yeah? And what might that be?
Okay, so after the ceremony at the chapel, the wedding reception will be held at a different venue.
Oh, I see. I think I did know that. What about it?
My friends from the music college I attended are going to be doing some entertainment for us. So that includes singing and other performances. As one of the only representatives from your side of the family, could you sing a song in front of us and all the guests we have?
In other words, you're giving me no choice but to sing in front of everyone who was invited to your wedding?
Well, yeah, but you're cool with it, right? If it's too difficult for you to sing a song, you could always sing a nursery rhyme that elementary school students get taught.
No. I know some songs to sing. I don't need to resort to nursery rhymes. Okay, fine. I'll do it. I'll just do my best with the singing.
Oh, really? You're not joking? You're actually going to go ahead with this?
Why would I joke about it when you asked me to sing? I will even sing a special song if my brother's new wife requests it. What kind of songs do you like? Just so you can have something special sung to both of you.
Okay, now just back up a bit. You'd actually take requests if I said what I wanted to hear?
Well, yes, but it has to be within a range that I'm able to sing to without my voice cracking.
I get what you mean. Do you feel like you can't back out from this? Is that why you think you should give it your all? Okay then, how about I give you the opportunity to sing a song by that really popular singer who's releasing a lot of music right now?
A song by a popular artist, huh? Well, there's so many popular artists, so it depends. Who are you talking about?
What are you saying? Don't you know any popular songs at the moment? Well, I guess that can't be helped since you're living at the bottom of our society. Maybe you're living in a dreamland thinking that you're equal with us.
No, you're just not listening to me. There are so many popular artists right now releasing music, so how am I supposed to know who you're talking about? So would you give me a name of who you want to hear me sing to? Then I know what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. I thought you meant that you knew no one that you could sing to. Okay, I'll give you a suggestion. There's this really popular artist that I'm talking about. Her name is Taylor, and her music videos get so many views on YouTube. She's always being constantly streamed by us higher people in society.
So Taylor is her name. You want me to sing one of her songs?
Yes, one of Taylor's songs. I don't like the fact that you share the same name as her, but surely you've heard of her, right?
Well, yeah, I do know who you're talking about, but...
Her new song just released in September, and it's being streamed like crazy. None of us can get enough of her. Her record label put out an announcement that she's going to put out a new album really soon. Actually, I'm a super big fan of hers, so I listen to her music all the time.
Yeah, I know that she's super popular. This is the first time I'm hearing that you're a huge fan of her music, though.
Her voice is incredible to hear. She can hit both the high and low notes when she sings. She sings so perfectly. All the songs she's released, she's written herself, and she's great at expressing what she writes in her lyrics. She's the absolute best singer on the planet right now. She definitely was able to get lots of singing and music practice from a prestigious school or something.
Oh, really? If she's as good as you say, then she must have gone to a really good music school.
So if you can sing a song by Taylor with doing all the things she does in her songs, I'd be super happy. Like, all you need to do is sing well.
Right, okay. I guess all I can do is my best. So what kind of song by her do you want me to sing?
Would it be weird to request that you do the song that she released in September at my wedding ceremony? I would really like to hear you sing it.
That song. Right, okay. I should be able to practice a little bit before the ceremony.
As the bride, I'm going to also perform a song for everyone's entertainment. I'll set up an order for us to do it in. You can sing after I've sung my song.
Okay, that should be no problem.
Well, I just don't think that you'll be able to sing as well as me, so it's better if I sing first so that everyone will know that I did a more memorable performance. I mean, I was the one who went to an elite music college, so I've got a lot more experience than you. Hey, as long as we have fun and you make everyone laugh, that's the main things. You can make us laugh with your off-pitch notes. It doesn't matter too much if you're off-key a little bit. You'll do great. I can't believe what just happened. You've got some explaining to do. What the heck was that performance?
What are you talking about? Did something happen? Didn't you enjoy the song that I did for you?
What the heck happened? I wasn't expecting that voice to come out of you. I was shocked to see you when you came up to the front. My sister-in-law. Please, tell me you're not the real Taylor I was talking about earlier. Are you?
Well, it's actually true. I'm the real deal, Julia. My label said that it was fine for me to show up to my brother's wedding ceremony and perform. They said it was fine to show my face to the guests, including my new sister-in-law. You did request for me to perform at your ceremony, after all.
What the heck is going on? I'm in such shock. I had no idea you were the real thing. I thought you were just some high school dropout that works at a factory, but you're a singer with a huge following.
I quit my job at the factory about 2 years ago when I knew I could do better with the life I was given.
What do you mean you quit your job to pursue singing? Is that true? Are you serious?
I guess I'll explain myself. My parents passed away in an accident in the fall of my first year at high school. It was a devastating blow to our family. I was thinking of getting a job so that I could work and earn money so that my younger brother could go to college. Nowadays, I can make a living from streaming my videos on YouTube, and I also get requests for other work I can do. So it can be a little difficult to balance both. So now I'm just doing one thing, which is being a full-time singer. The reason why I was working late last night was because I was performing elsewhere.
But the entertainment you gave today, surely someone put something in the microphone to make you sound that good. I didn't think that you could sing like that even though you didn't go to a college for music.
Well, if you're saying something like that happened, you were the one using the microphone before I was when you were singing.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
I'm talking about you using the microphone before me. Then once I used it, you were using it again, so it just makes me wonder if something was done by you. The only person who was messing with the mic was the staff member who sprayed it with disinfectant between our performances.
Then it must have been the staff member who did something to the microphone to make you sound good.
You're accusing me of this even though you said that you were a huge fan of my videos and music? But as soon as you found out who I really was, your excitement kind of disappeared, did it not?
Well, after all, you're basically a fraud. Taylor would definitely have to have graduated from a music college to be able to even sing in front of all the guests. All you are is a high school graduate that had no future. You used to work in a factory, for crying out loud. You're just a fraud. Stop pretending to be someone you're not.
Well, I can see why you doubt me, but it still doesn't make me feel great. I'm going to do a live broadcast in 3 days' time, so if you tune in to watch me, then surely you'll believe everything you're hearing and seeing.
You're doing a live performance? Online? In 3 days? Are you for real?
Yes, I am. I think I'll head home now. I don't think it's a good idea to attend the after party. I don't want to make any more of a ruckus since it's your wedding and you both should celebrate in peace. Julia? It's Taylor. I just wanted to ask you something. I kind of need to know what you said last night. Why did you make such a fuss about my schooling and my background yesterday at the after party? Why did you say that I was lying about it?
So what? Why are you questioning me about it? So what if I mentioned it to a few people? I'm not the one who's lying to everyone around them. I only told people the truth about what's going on with you. You can't blame me just because I found out that you were only a high school graduate and that you worked in a factory. It's worse when you lie about going to a prestigious music college and falsifying your academic background for everyone to hear. The people who were so hyped up at the wedding over you will look back and think how much of a liar you are and not want to be fans of your music anymore.
Okay, I get what's going on here. I obviously didn't check what was being said about me, and that's the answer that I'm left with.
Huh? What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about. You're completely confusing me.
You know, Julia, there's just a little fact that I'm going to mention to you before this all gets out of hand. In a previous Q&A video I posted online, I talked about how I had to drop out of high school halfway through and start working because of the terrible circumstances my family faced. I never mentioned anything about going to some music college. I know I never went, but it doesn't mean I can't sing.
Huh? What video? A fan actually asked you about how you got to where you are today? I've got no idea what you're talking about.
But then you started stirring up things at the after party by telling people that I never went to music college and that I'm just a lowlife that didn't manage to graduate high school and had to work to earn money. When I think a lot of people know that to be true. You're the one who misinterpreted everything about me. For all the people who have seen the video, they wondered why someone would say something like that. They must be jealous of your success.
I haven't got a clue what you're on about, Taylor. I never really meant anything by what I said. I was just speaking the truth. What's the matter with that? So, when you actually think about it, I didn't really cause any damage to you at all. Not to your personality, your background, or your career, right? I can't believe what's happening to me now. This isn't fair. I think I'm going to get a divorce handed to me by your brother.
Huh? What are you talking about? What's going on?
I think this is because of the live broadcast that you're doing.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I told my brother what you tried to do to me. You were trying to make a huge fuss about me lying about my academic background without even thinking about the fact that I had already admitted it to millions of fans. And that I mentioned that as well. In my broadcast, I mean.
So he found out what I said? You told him? How could you do this to me? I'm his wife. He doesn't need to know those things that I said.
Maybe because it's important and I talked to my brother about these sorts of things now that our parents are gone. I guess my brother discovered what you said just as I was about to send that comment you mentioned to me, but I didn't have my phone on me to do that. I really wanted to, though.
Because I had no idea that Taylor, who I was a huge fan of, hadn't graduated from music college but hardly graduated from high school. Plus, you stood out way too much at my wedding and took the spotlight off of me. You made a fool out of me. How could you do that to a fan?
But think about what you did in the first place, Julia. As a singer, I never said that I graduated from a music college. A lot of singers actually don't go to music college, by the way, these days. In a magazine article that I did, I introduced my background to the readers so they could get to know me better. I wrote that I'd entered the workforce after I dropped out of school so that I could get my younger brother into college and that I could make a living. I never once lied about my education or my background. I've got no reason to lie, so I didn't appreciate what you said to me, so I told my brother.
Then why is it that my sister-in-law talked about going to university to study music in the first place? You've made everything for me so confusing.
Oh, right. I guess I will explain that now. My brother told me that every time you watch my videos, you used to ask what university I went to study music. And then he said that I didn't, but you never listened as you were too focused on what you actually wanted to believe was true.
Huh? What are you saying? I don't understand what's going on anymore. I'm so confused. Do you really think that I'd be that stupid?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it could be that you judged people solely based on their academic background and just believed that I went to a music college.
What? What do you mean by that? I do nothing of the sort. I'm a good person. I'm not judgmental at all. How could you say something like that to a fan? How can you accuse me of something like this? I'm just trying to get the truth of all this.
I've already told people the truth. You're the one that turns their nose up if they haven't come from a wealthy background. There are no facts about me in the magazines or online that I went to music college. Stop saying that I've lied to my fans when I didn't. I've been nothing but truthful. I've never falsely stated that I've attended a music college. I learned how to play and write music all by myself. I made a public statement to my fans that I was a high school dropout and that I worked for a while before starting my music career. How many times do I have to explain this before it gets through your thick skull? Stop trying to sabotage me! If you start leaving any more comments online about me and my history that I've been truthful about, you'll hear about it from my label. You'll be the one getting burned from all of this, not me. I've done nothing to you, but you've tried to embarrass me in front of my fans in the music world. You should be grateful that my brother isn't doing any more than divorcing you for how you've treated me.
But it was obviously a mistake. He shouldn't be divorcing me over this. It was just a simple mistake. I can fix it.
Otherwise, apart from what I just told you, I've got nothing else to say to you anymore.
But please, Taylor, you've got to help me out here. Make your brother see sense that I just made a mistake about you and that I'll make it up to him somehow. I still want to be married to him and I'm a huge fan of you and your music. I just made a mistake is all.
Even if I wanted to help you, I wouldn't after all the trouble you went through to try and sabotage my career. I've worked hard to do what I've done and get my brother into school. And happy. I think it's better for you both to get a divorce so that it can all blow over and we can all move on.
Are you kidding me right now? You're just going to let this all happen to me? But I'm a fan. I thought your fans were important to you. I don't understand.
Well, I just stated what I wish to happen, so I don't think I want to help someone who tries to sabotage their inspiration. If you want to change the outcome, you need to talk to my brother and come to some sort of conclusion. I wish you luck, but I don't see you being in our family. I ended up not telling Julia what the plan was for the wedding, but it was originally my brother's idea for me to sing at their wedding ceremony. He said that she was a huge fan of mine and that he wanted it to be a surprise. He ended up apologizing to me as the outcome turned out to be the exact opposite of what he was expecting. But that's not his fault. As a result of this, him and Julia got divorced. From there, Julia was even more aggravated by the fact that I never went to college to study music, and that I was only a high school dropout. She began searching for a highly educated and rich man. Apparently, he graduated from a university overseas called Oxford. He ended up earning a lot of money per year. And in conclusion, he committed marriage fraud against Julia. He was later arrested, but she was left with a huge amount of debt. She ended up in a demanding job to pay off the debt. The job has got nothing to do with her being some elite college graduate. Thank you for watching! If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hi, sister. Can you talk right now? There's something very important I want to tell you. Oh, if it isn't Marissa. I'm currently doing work while on a bullet train. Could you wait until later when I'm not busy? No. I'm afraid I can't wait. What's with that reaction anyways? You sound almost as if you didn't want to see me. Anyways, this is something very important that has something to do with the future of the company, so it can't wait. What? The future of the company? But Marissa, have you forgotten that you have nothing to do with the company's business? Could you please not talk about the company's future, at least until after you find a job and stop doing nothing at home all day? Huh? It's fine if I don't have a job because I'm training to become a housewife. Unlike you, whose only merit is that you're willing to work all day, every day, I have a skill called femininity. Besides, I'm about to get married soon, and I won't have to work after that, right? I mean, seriously, Ida, why do you work so much all the time? Just get married and become a housewife or something. Not everyone shares the same values as you, Marissa. Some people find meaning in their jobs beyond just having to work to earn money. Wait, hold on. You had a boyfriend? And you're already going to get married to him? How come you never came to our parents' house to ask for their permission? You'll find out why soon enough. And of course I have a boyfriend, because unlike you, I'm not an old hag who became so busy with work that she forgot how to be a woman. Well, I'll agree that I am pretty busy with work, but what do you mean I forgot how to be a woman? I have a fiancé too, you know. If I start acting like a woman by your standards, then I'll soon be drowning in ribbons and lace and frills. I mean, I was able to get married, but on the other side of the coin, you're not going to be able to get married anymore. Besides, are you sure that you have a fiancé? Huh? What are you talking about? What I'm trying to say is, me and Alberto are officially engaged now. That's what I wanted to tell you in the first place. What? By Alberto, do you mean my fiancé Alberto? Can you think of any other Alberto? I mean, of course I mean your fiancé Alberto. Marissa, what in the world are you talking about? Are you trying to say that you stole my fiancé? Yep, I'm being 100% serious right now. You see, the two of us are currently in a hotel together. What? Now? Yep, we've been going out for 3 months now. I'm impressed that you didn't notice a thing. It must be because all you think of all the time is that job of yours. Well, that's all I had to tell you. Make sure to cancel the wedding ceremony you had planned for next month, all right? Me and Alberto are going to plan our own wedding of our dreams from scratch. Is that so? I'm going to ask Alberto himself about this later, but if this is true, you better get ready for what's about to come, because I promise you two aren't going to get off easy. Yeah. What are you going to do? Tell Mom and Dad? You say that like you're actually a person of importance. But in reality, you're just a slave to the company, right? Anyways, I already am ready, if that's what you're worried about. Ready to find happiness with Alberto, that is. You're just a nuisance, Ida, so just give up and step out of our way, all right? Hi, Ida. Did you already ask Alberto about the two of us or something already? You see, he came crying to me, saying how you were so scary when you got mad at him. He said you looked like the devil himself. I made sure myself that he felt better after that, though. In fact, he's currently fast asleep next to me, looking like he doesn't have a care in the world. Is that so? He's the one who did something to make me look like a devil, so it's his own fault. Besides, probably the only reason he was scared of me is because he felt ashamed about what he had done. I mean, it was only a month until we were supposed to have our wedding ceremony, after all. Huh? What do you mean he was ashamed? I mean, it's only natural for two people who are in love to go to a hotel together where they won't be disturbed. And I already told you about our relationship, right? What's there to be ashamed of? This is all your fault, and you're just being delusional. I'm trying to tell you that the two of you are being a bit too shameless about this. Never mind, you'll find out soon enough. I'm talking about canceling the marriage with Alberto, so do whatever you want with him because I don't care anymore. What? Really? Yes! Now Alberto is all mine. Thanks for stepping out of the way, sister. Finally, you understand that I'm just a better woman than you. Just go back to your work or something so you can forget all about this. I will, but I'm going to make you two pay me an alimony, all right? What? Yes, not just Alberto, but you too. What? You're going to make me pay one too? What for? For stealing my fiancé? He wasn't just my boyfriend, Marissa. We were engaged. So that means I have the legal right to ask you two to pay me an alimony. What, did you think that I wouldn't be able to ask you for an alimony because the fiancé you stole was your sister's or something? Too bad, but that's not the case. You've got to be kidding me, right? But isn't making your own family pay you an alimony a bit too evil? No, I'm not kidding. And what I'm doing to you is a lot less evil than what you did to me. Seriously, do you not even feel slightly guilty for stealing my fiancé? Oh, and I'll tell you this in advance. It's no use trying to rely on Mom and Dad for help. They're extremely mad about what you did right now. They even said that they regret spoiling you until now and that they're going to make you leave their house. What? Why? But I thought that Mom and Dad were my allies. I'm so much cuter than you. Why would they side with you? There's no way they would side with you when you just stole my fiancé. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to go easy on you just because you don't have any money and don't even have a job. There's nothing stopping you from getting a job if you want to, so you better find one soon. Otherwise, you're going to have to take out a loan to pay my alimony. By the way, nothing about you is cute, Marissa. Only idiotic guys think that. What did you just say to me? You're just jealous that I was always more popular with guys than you were, aren't you? Also, there's no reason for me to work. I'm not going to become a slave to a company like you. Yes, there is, actually. I'm going to make you pay at least the average amount. I don't know for sure, but that's at least 20,000 euros. You're so scary, Ida. Wow, so this is how ugly women behave when they're mad? Looks like you're the one who's an idiot. I don't need to find a job to pay your alimony after all. Too bad for you, I guess. Yes, I heard that you made Alberto pay for both your alimonies, and I even heard that you moved into Alberto's apartment after Mom and Dad kicked you out. Yep, the two of us are currently living together. Jesus, this is proof that you completely don't understand the position you're currently in. I wouldn't be so happy about this situation if I were you. Are you just being jealous now because he threw you away to be with me instead? Come on, Ida, it's unbefitting of someone so serious as you. Still, it's pretty funny, though I don't mind. Seriously? Whatever, I don't care anymore what happens to you. To be honest, I'm impressed at how dumb you are and how narrow your view of the world is. Huh? What in the world even is that? What does my view of the world have anything to do with this? I mean, you haven't even noticed yet that you're slowly but surely being pushed towards the edge of a cliff? What? But you're the one who's being pushed towards the edge of a cliff, aren't you? I mean, you're already 30, but you just got your fiancé stolen from you a month before you were supposed to get married? Really, I pity you so much. Good luck on getting married before you're 40, because I heard that you can't have children after that. I don't think that's going to be easy, though, now that you're in your 30s and have already been divorced once. Maybe if you were pretty like me, you would have had a chance. Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just making a fool of yourself. I decided that I'm not going to tell you what's about to happen. What are you even talking about? You're the one who looks like a fool, Ida. I can kind of guess by your personality just what kind of misunderstanding you're currently making, but you'll find out on your own if you just talk to Alberto himself. Please, Marissa, could you at least try to not be so dumb and just talk to Alberto? It's honestly making my head hurt talking to you like this. You're just crying sour grapes. Besides, if Dad's going to marry Alberto, the next CEO of the company, to one of his daughters, then it should be me and not you, right? I mean, I am younger and more attractive than you. I see. So that's what you were after. I knew it. You did always talk about how you were going to just marry someone rich when I told you to get a job. Yes, I want to become a wife of a CEO. You see, whenever I look at you and how you always just work all the time, I think to myself, wow, I hope I never have to become a slave of a company like that. Getting a job is defeat for a woman. So don't you think that becoming a wife of a CEO is the smartest path to take? Just talk to Alberto for me, will you? You'll understand well then just how idiotic these thoughts of yours are right now. Yeah, you're just saying that because you're jealous Alberto chose me over you. I don't blame him, though. I'm better than you in every way imaginable, after all. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. You see, the two of us are going to be hosting our wedding ceremony in half a year. I'm going to make you come no matter what. You made me pay an alimony of 20,000 euros, right? Too bad, because now I'm going to make you pay 40,000 euros as a wedding gift. Jesus, talking to you really is pointless, it looks like. I'm not going to your wedding, and I'm definitely not going to give you any money. Hi, sister. Do you know what day it is today? Today is me and Alberto's wedding. Today is the day that will symbolize the start of my new life of only happiness with him. At the end of the day, you replied saying that you wouldn't come to all of my invitations, but Mom and Dad are going to come, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Yep, this proves it. They'd rather have a cute daughter like me than a woman like you who's just a slave to her company. You shouldn't get your hopes up regarding Dad. The only reason he came was to make sure that you wouldn't cause any more trouble than you already have. He's embarrassed just being there, you know. Mom, too. The only reason she came was because she wanted to get a last look at my failure of a daughter before I cut ties with her, she said. Huh? You're seriously still crying sour grapes? I mean, I'm about to become the CEO's wife, so I think it would be in your best interest not to defy me too much, you know. It must mean that you still haven't had a proper talk with Alberto if you can still say something like that. Seriously, it's been half a year, Marissa. We don't need to talk. We can communicate without using words, you know. It's something that only couples that are truly in love can do, but I guess you didn't know that. Ida, half of the seats in the wedding venue are empty. They all canceled at the last minute. Oh, is that so? Not only that, but when I told Dad that this behavior was too disrespectful when it's the next CEO and his fiancé that's about to get married, he said that Alberto wasn't going to be the next CEO. What in the world is the meaning of this? What? You're seriously only asking me that now? What do you mean I'm only asking you this now? I mean, Dad sent you to marry Alberto in the first place because he was going to be the next CEO, right? Did Alberto not tell you anything about it? Huh? But it's so obvious. There was no need to ask him about it. I mean, the only children Dad has is me and you. Which means that he would have to send one of us to go and marry the next CEO of the company, right? But I'm going to be the next CEO of Dad's company. What? You're going to be the CEO? Yes. It's been decided for quite some time now that I was going to be the next CEO. The marriage between me and Alberto was nothing as complicated as an arranged marriage for the company's interest or something. We were just co-employees that fell in love with each other. What? Then does that mean that Alberto's position in the company is... He's just a regular employee. A regular employee? Well, he used to be the head of the marketing department, but the company found out about how he was cheating on me and going on dates with you and saw that as a problem. And so he was demoted and his salary lowered. Huh? What's so wrong about going on dates with me? To put it simply, so that even you would understand, he was punished for not coming to work and going on dates with you instead. What? Not only that, but apparently he used the company cars on these dates of yours to go to hotels or something. He was barely not fired from the company entirely, but it's true that he was a hair's breadth away from it. He was almost fired? Yep, his salary is much lower than it was before, and he's probably not going to be promoted in the future either. Half of this is your fault, and you should realize that. But... Ida! I asked Alberto to show me his bank account and only €5 were in it. Why is it so little? But I won't be able to buy the newest brand bags with this money. Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa? Huh? First, Alberto paid for both the alimony I asked from you and from him. Next, you moved into his apartment since you were kicked out of our parents' house. Not only that, but you're unemployed and have no intention of getting a job since you believe that working is defeat, yet you love spending money and have zero experience saving any money of your own. He now has to pay for 2 people instead of 1 ever since you started living with him. And his salary is not even a third of what it once was since the company found out about what he was doing. Oh, and that wedding ceremony of yours was pretty expensive as well, right? But you couldn't even gather a considerable amount of money from wedding gifts since most of the people you invited ended up canceling at the last minute. Based on my calculations, you made Alberto use roughly €100,000 in just these 6 months, didn't you? €100,000? I heard from Alberto before that he had about €100,000 in savings, but looks like he's spent almost all of that now. Only €5 were left, right? This can't be happening, but this is completely opposite of what I expected. I thought I would be able to live a fabulous life as the wife of a CEO, never having to work a day in my life. I can't turn back now as well since we already turned in the marriage papers. What should I do about this, Ida? Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa? What? It's clear what you need to do. You need to get a job and work as well. You see, everyone in society has to, in general, work to make a living. You were screwed the moment you started thinking that working is defeat. If only the world worked differently, then maybe you would have gotten what you wanted. So if you don't want to join the dredges of society, because you're going to at this rate, go and get a job. Why do you have to say things like that to me? You're so mean, Ida. Not long after that, Alberto voluntarily resigned from his job. It looks like it was too difficult for him working at a place where his former fiancé and now also sister-in-law were going to be the next CEO. Apparently, he brought Marissa with him and moved to his hometown. I heard that he plans on getting a new job at a factory that produces dried foods owned by a relative of his. Marissa, who loved everything about the city and how everything was so busy and shiny, will probably find this new life in the countryside of hers difficult and boring. But since she could no longer rely on our parents, she had no choice but to go with Alberto. But it seems that her mother-in-law was quite the character. Apparently her conditions of letting the two of them live in Alberto's parents' house was that they would have to live with Alberto's parents, and she would manage everything related to their finances, including their salaries. My sister left the city shaking from fear, and it looks like this marriage of hers is going to be difficult in a lot of ways.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Adriana, why are you at Dad's funeral?
Huh? What do you mean why I'm at his funeral? Weren't all of Dad's relatives invited to come?
Stop pretending like he was your dad, Adriana. You're pretending like you were his family during yesterday's wake, too. Do you know how annoyed I was at seeing you?
But I'm his daughter, so I wanted to say farewell to him as well.
Huh? It seems like you have some sort of misunderstanding, but it's extremely rude to sit with his family when you're just an adopted child.
What? I know I was only adopted, but he raised me like his own daughter ever since I was a young child. I don't even remember who my real parents were.
It doesn't matter whether he raised you or not when you're not actually related to him by blood. You're not related to me either. I call you my sister just for convenience, but I don't really think you're my sister, all right? You're always just fucking Adriana in my mind. But I'm the daughter of a CEO, so I can't say such things out loud, right? I feel as if I'm being punished whenever I have to call you my sister, but it can't be helped.
Philia, why were you always this mean to me?
Why shouldn't I be mean to you? Even though you weren't even Dad's real child, he always treated you better than me, his actual daughter for some goddamn reason. But just because I call you my sister doesn't mean you can pretend to be his daughter at his funeral. Dad was always nice to you, but I'm not going to be the same. I'm his real daughter, not you. You're basically just a stranger to him, you know?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt like that all this time. I guess it must have been difficult seeing your father treat us differently. But still, what you're saying is just going too far. Just because I wasn't related to him by blood doesn't mean that we couldn't have had a meaningful relationship as father and daughter.
Shut it. Just leave the funeral right now. I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Ugh, I always hated how you were like this. Every time I get mad at you, you always pretend like you did nothing wrong and I'm the bad guy. For once, could you just admit you were wrong?
Adriana, are you alright?
Oh, hi, Irvis. It's fine. I just got a little bit wet. It's not like she hurt me or anything.
Someone saw Phila dumping a bucket of water on you and told me about it. Where are you right now?
I'm at the rental clothes store near the funeral.
Oh, so you rented morning clothes to go to the funeral?
Yep. Someone from the shop saw that Philia dumped a bucket of water on me and brought me here.
I'm glad things seem to be alright. They're gonna give you new clothes, right?
Yeah, thankfully the owner is a kind person. I also thought of borrowing a wig and some glasses.
What? For what would you need a wig and glasses for?
To disguise myself, so I could sit with the rest of the relatives without being noticed.
What? You don't have to hide like that, Adriana. You did nothing wrong. He's your father.
But...
I'll sit next to you the whole time and prevent anyone from doing anything strange.
What? You'll do that for me?
You're my fiancé. I already got permission to sit with your relatives, so it's not gonna be a problem. Even Phila will have no choice but to behave if she's in front of a crowd of people. Don't worry about it. Return to the funeral and say goodbye to your father. Even though you weren't related to him by blood, you were probably closer to him than anyone else in that funeral. Even Phila.
Irvis, I wouldn't know what I would do without you. Thank you. I'll return as soon as I change.
What is your problem? Why is Irvis standing watch next to you the whole time?
Hello, Philia. I know you were mad at me, but dumping a bucket of water on my head like that was rude. I would have been glad to settle our differences, but you didn't want to talk to me.
This again. I hate how you always make me seem like the bad guy. You don't seem to understand yet. You're not supposed to be at this funeral. Also, Irvis is supposed to be my fiancé, not yours.
Huh? What does Irvis have to do with this? And what do you mean he's supposed to be your fiancé?
I mean, shouldn't the person who's going to inherit father's company marry the CEO's only daughter? Mom said that as well. And besides, he's too good for you anyways.
Are you trying to say that it's already decided that Irvis is going to be the next CEO? Where'd you get that information?
I mean, isn't it obvious? For some unknown reason, he's engaged to you, who isn't actually related to father, but it was supposed to be me, you know? This is a good opportunity, so I'll be taking Irvis from you, okay?
That has nothing to do with whether Irvis is going to be the next CEO. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, Philia.
You're so frustrating to talk to. You're going to leave this funeral and Irvis is going to be mine, period. Oh, I almost forgot. There's something Mom wants to tell you. Don't think that a stranger has a right to receive an inheritance, she said.
Sorry, but I'm not going to leave the funeral, and I'm not going to give you Irvis as well. And what's that about the inheritance? Is she telling me to let go of my portion of the inheritance when he was my father as well?
Fine. Stay at the funeral if you want. Just know that you aren't welcomed here. Oh, and as for Irvis, I'll take care of him myself later. And yes, that's what Mom is saying. I agree with her, by the way. Why should a complete stranger inherit stuff from my dad, who was a CEO? He probably has a fortune waiting for me.
I don't think this is something we should be talking about the day of the funeral. It's impolite. Dad's will is going to be released by a lawyer after the memorial service takes place, right? The company can't just wait until it's released. So it seems that they're holding meetings to decide who the next CEO is going to be. So I think it's best not to say or do anything stupid for now.
I didn't quite get what you said, but I'm going to take Irvis from you, all right? Irvis himself will probably choose me, the CEO's real daughter, over a complete stranger like you, if he's going to go after the position of CEO.
Well, I guess we are just strangers to each other. I can understand why you don't like me, but it's not an excuse to treat me the way you're currently treating me.
Finally, you understand. It's fine with me, whatever you think, as long as you get out of my life. Looks like you messed up, Adriana. Irvis, the next CEO of Dad's company, is going to be mine now. Too bad, I guess.
But it was already decided before Dad passed away that Irvis wouldn't be the next CEO.
Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean he's not going to be the next CEO? Hi, Irvis. I'm your new fiancé from now on, so I hope we can get along.
Huh? What are you talking about, Filler? My fiancé isn't you, but Adriana, your sister?
Oh, that's been canceled.
Huh? Canceled? What do you mean?
Dad messed up a bit, so you for some reason got engaged to Adriana. But in reality, you're supposed to marry me, not her. Which is why I'm gonna fix things now that Dad is gone.
My marriage with Adriana has nothing to do with the company's interest, though.
But just a little bit longer and I'll get my hands on Dad's inheritance. If you don't marry me, then the position of CEO is gonna be harder to obtain, you know?
I don't quite follow.
What?
It doesn't matter what you say. My fiancé is Adriana. I have no intention of getting married to any other woman. Goodbye.
What's the meaning of this? Why are you the next CEO? This has got to be some sort of mistake. What dirty trick did you use to make this happen?
Philia, it looks like you're misunderstanding.
What? How am I misunderstanding?
I'll try to explain to you what happened, all right?
Fine, explain it then.
Well, we first need to talk about why your father adopted me.
It's because Mom and Dad couldn't quite bear a child, right? But I was miraculously born after they adopted you.
It's true that they couldn't bear a child before they adopted me, but everything else is wrong.
Huh?
They didn't tell me how much you knew, but it seems that I'm Dad's biological nephew.
What? His nephew?
Yes, I'm his sister's daughter. His sister and her husband, meaning my real parents, suddenly passed away after getting into an accident. So your father took custody of me and adopted me as his daughter. That's what I heard.
Oh, is that so? So does that mean we're cousins?
Yes. About the next CEO of the company then. Dad's company evaluates people entirely on their skill. It's just a coincidence that the next CEO, me, also happened to be related to the previous CEO. I was one of the employees who were chosen as candidates for the next CEO, and luckily they noticed my hard work and chose me.
So what about Irvis?
I've been going out with him since I was in the second year of high school. I'm only marrying him because I want to. It has nothing to do with the company.
No way, but I heard that he was competent at his job. He was at least chosen as one of the candidates for the next CEO, right?
I didn't know you had that wrong as well. Irvis isn't even an employee at our company. Where did you even get that information?
Seriously? But I always thought that Dad had brought the two of you together since he was planning to make Irvis the next CEO.
What? You read way too many short stories, Philia. Well, do you understand the situation now? There's a lot of things I need to learn if I'm going to be the next CEO, so I'm quite busy. Bye.
This can't be true. This is completely different to what I thought was happening. Why did I get everything so wrong? Why? Why is Dad's will like this? You inherit all of Dad's property and me and Mom just get a few gifts.
It's just as the will says. Apparently you're Dad's child legally, but your father was actually a different man, and you were only born because Mom cheated on Dad. I was surprised when I saw this on the will, too. It looks like Dad even has proof that you aren't his real daughter, so there can't be a mistake.
What?
I'm sure Dad was conflicted by this fact all this time. He probably could have divorced Mom whenever he wanted to with the proof that she cheated on him. He could have even threw you away with her since you weren't his actual child.
Huh? So after all this time, you were the one who's related to Dad and not me? Why didn't he tell me about this sooner?
Dad wasn't the type of person to discriminate between us just because of the conditions surrounding our birth. He probably didn't tell us to keep the family safe. Maybe he knew that he and Mother would have gotten divorced. This proves that he did in fact care for you as well, Philia. Because if he hadn't, he would have just left the family fall apart and leave you and your mother to your own devices. You were just too blinded by jealousy to see that he cared for you as much as he did as me. I think what's written on his will is his final decision after years of inner torment. So I'm gonna do as Dad's will says. Goodbye for now, Philia. I hope that one day we can come to terms with each other and be the siblings that we always were.
But if he cared for me as much as he cared for you, then why did he give you more inheritance? I want that money as well. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to get rich after Dad died. Irvis, marry me instead of Adriana.
Huh? Phila? What in the world are you talking about? Why should I marry you?
You see, I was such an unlucky child all this time.
Oh, you mean how you ruined your father's actual child? I guess it's a bit ironic how you kicked Adriana out of her father's funeral because she wasn't actually related to him, when in reality, you were the one who wasn't related to your father, and she was.
Yes, I never wanted this to happen, and I can't even receive an inheritance because of Adriana.
What does Adriana have to do with this? Your father simply gave Adriana more money than you and your mother, simply because he thought Adriana would make better use of it, I think. I doubt he was petty enough to give Adriana more money just because he liked her more. It simply isn't good parenting. You and your mother are housewives without a job, right? But Adriana has a promising career. In fact, she's now the CEO of her father's company, and so that's probably why he gave her the money.
But if Adriana never existed, then at least I would have been Dad's only legal child, and me and Mom would have been able to receive an inheritance. Isn't that so?
Philia, do you realize that you're being extremely rude to Adriana?
What? Who cares if I was being a bit rude? I was only telling her the truth. She was trying to lay claim to Dad's inheritance even though she was just a stranger to him. That's why I told her to get out of my sight.
It's true that the business of inheritances can be delayed and people need to handle them logically. But after your father died, while everyone else was quietly mourning your dad with whatever thoughts they might have had for him, the sight of you and your mother looking so excited for the inheritance was disturbing, simply put. I'm not surprised your dad chose to give his inheritance mainly to Adriana. With that personality of yours, I'm actually surprised he didn't divorce your mother and let go of you sooner. It just goes to show how kind of a man he was.
It's not like that. Dad always treated Adriana better than me, and now I know why. It's because I wasn't actually his real child, and Adriana was his nephew all along. And I never intended for it to seem like I wasn't sad about my dad's death and only cared about the inheritance, Irvis. I was sad about Dad's death just like everyone else. You just didn't notice it. And what do you mean, that personality of yours? I'm a much better person than Adriana. She just pretends to be the saint when in reality, she just does it to make people like her. And me and Mom are the only person who realize it.
I knew that's what she would say. It's not like your dad ever told me anything, but I don't think that he treated Adriana better than you simply because you were the child of another man. And Adriana was his nephew. Adriana's father was the kind of person that judged someone entirely on who they are as a person. You can see it in how he runs his company, where employees are evaluated entirely on their scale, right? This means that your father was more fond of Adriana than you simply because he liked her better as a person. Although, I will admit that a father treating their children with different levels of love is a bit unfair, and I'll forgive you a little bit for that. But saying that you never intended for it to seem like you weren't sad about your dad's death and that you only cared about the inheritance is actually just as bad as saying that you did intend for it to look like that. Because now you're just someone that has no regard for manners and what other people think.
Irvis, don't say things like that. It wasn't my fault that I wasn't actually my father's child and that Adriana was his niece. I didn't ask for any of this to happen. Please, I have no one else to depend on. Why don't you want to marry me?
I feel bad for your situation, but sorry. I'm not going to marry you no matter how much I pity you. Because I love Adriana and no other woman. Goodbye, Philia. I hope that you someday find happiness of your own.
Dad was the owner of the house Philia and her mother lived in, but it was now my house after the inheritance. It seems the two were too proud to live in a house owned by me, so they used the little money they received as a gift from Dad to find an apartment. Actually, the gift money they received was only little compared to the rest of the inheritance, but it was still quite a large sum of money. But for some reason, the two of them decided that these were the funds they needed to start gambling, even though they needed that money to get by until they could start providing for themselves. Even though they intended to earn some easy money by winning, they eventually lost all of it. Now the two of them support themselves by working at a job that comes with housing, but since the two of them have never worked a day in their lives, they frequently make mistakes and get scolded by the other employees. The two now live in poverty and constantly have fights, it seems. Me and Irvis, on the other hand, got married a few months after the memorial service took place, which is also when I started to be more comfortable with my new position as the CEO. We decided to find a new house as a way of putting the past behind and starting anew, and I decided to sell the house I inherited from Dad. I kind of feel bad for Philia. After all, she thought that she was her dad's real child her whole life. But to be honest, I don't think Dad was the kind of person to judge a person based on something like that. So I also feel that what happened to her was ultimately her own doing.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.